Alright guys, so welcome to a new video. This is part 12 of our series and again, thank you so much for tuning in, and actually thank you for leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. And if you did not do any of these yet, I surely recommend it to you because I'm going to post a lot of content, and I think it's going to really be helpful for you guys, especially if you're beginners in Blender. Okay, so I also would actually encourage you to leave a comment. I will answer to your comments, that's for sure. Also, if you want to share this video just to make this a little more popular, I would not mind it. So keep that in mind if you ever, want to think about this channel. Good. So, leaving that aside, we learned about the loop tools, and I think it's time for the introduction of another thing you might have seen, and you actually seen it right now on the screen in the Edit tab. It's the Bool tool, really, but we're not really using the Bool tool. And there's a reason for it, because the Bool tool is a quicker way, kind of like the auto mirror, of a very important modifier, and that is the Boolean modifier. Of course, I'm sure you knew that already, but I just had to mention it just in case. It's one of the most important modifiers, especially if you're going to get into the hard surface modeling. If you want to model weapons, especially, it's gonna probably be your thing. Um, without further ado, I really recommend you to see this. This is going to be a really good introduction for you to the Boolean modifier. And if you want to go way more in detail about hard surface modeling and also about the Boolean and also other add-ons that go into the hard surface part of the whole 3D modeling thing, I do recommend you Josh Gamble's channel on YouTube. He is basically dedicated to this part of 3D modeling. Also, he has a site called I think it was Blender Bros, if I'm not mistaken, with his partner, whose name I'm sure I'm going to botch, but first I'm going to try to check out his name just to make sure I'm not mistaken. I just checked. It's Ponte Rurui. I hope I didn't botch the name as much as I think I just did. I'm really sorry if I did. But yeah, this is the channel right here for him. Also, you can see how I botched the name up here. Um, so again, really sorry for that. But yeah, him and Josh Campbell, I'm going to have both the channels in the description of this video if you want to check them out. But they are basically, dedicated to this hard surface modeling part, and I think they do an amazing job explaining. And also, as you can see, they have really detailed videos on how to actually model and put a object together. But I will advise you right now that they do use paid add-ons. I do think they have clips where that's not the case, and they do talk about them in detail, and they're really good add-ons. Don't get me wrong, but just keep that in mind because you probably will need to spend some money, or you will need to somehow find a way to not to get around what they do without the add-ons. That's kind of it. So without further ado, because I talked very lot in this intro, let's get to our video where we will do the frontal protection part. So let's get to it. Um, right. So let's actually choose this face, insert this one, and just like we're used to, E, then X, and then you know what, E again. Let's subdivide this 2 times and circle this, and let's actually put the angle on 0, so the circle um, would be normal. We'll have all the edges straighten up for us, and actually, let's e in the on the inside and something like this. Yeah, creating details, right? Creating details, creating little um, bits that are just going to give character to our little train here. I don't think Lil is what this train really is, but I'm going to call it Lil, our little train. So, that being said, we will have to do the protection from the front of the train, right? So what shall we really do? If you ask me, um, let me think. I think it's better if we do it as a separate body. And actually, I have two methods of doing it. One, well, I think I'll do it the first one. So there are two ways of doing it. One we actually know about, and as a challenge for you, if you want it, of course, is to try to do this by yourself. I'm going to show it to you just in case you get stuck, but I want you to try to create something like this using proportional editing, which you will need, and the checker deselect, and just delete the faces, fill in the geometry that you need. And my recommendation for you is to actually start with a plane. So you start with a plane, create some geometry, some faces there, checker deselect, delete them, and then use the proportional editing on the plane, and then the solidify modifier later on. So just so I show you how to do it. Um, Let me select this vertex right here. So I think I selected the right one. Right. So Shift S, cursor to selected, Control 3 to see it from the front, and then let's have a plane. RY 90. Let's scale it down way down, and Z, and then SY. Great, that's perfect. And with this being done, let's apply all transforms and then get into the edit mode. And we don't need to be in the X-ray for this one because we are the champions. I'm sorry, we are on a plane, so we have all the geometry selected anyway. And I got, actually, no, let's not do it like this. Again, I want you to understand. So let's go to edit and apply the auto mirror on the Y, and here we have it. And let's actually apply it one more time on the Z axis this time. And this is actually not working pretty well, and I do think I know why. Let's delete this one and go back. Okay, all right. Let's actually just put this in here and delete these, not the faces, sorry, the vertices, and add the modifier ourselves. On the Z, so it's going to have this here, and actually I'm just going to clip it and do something like this. Then let's get it down and G and Z, just like that. We can just play around with it afterwards. Um, that's not really the problem. Something like that. Let's go. All right, so having the plane, as I said, first do a loop right about here because we kind of want to have a contour. So what I'm talking about is you just don't want, I mean, in this case, really, you can have exactly these just going in our protection here, but I would like to have, just like we have down here, a loop that will have this solid part, to have it also for our little geometry here. So having that, let's also have it on this side, right about here. That's perfect. And what we will want to do is do quite a bit of these. So I don't even know how many I put. Actually, we can select it from here. Let's just do 20. Is 20 good? What you guys say? Is 20 okay? I don't know. Let's GY days and somewhere around there. And actually, this one will have to be a little closer. Something like that. And there's a big reason for it. And because of that one, all of these actually have to kind of move around. So no, sorry. Something like about this. And I think this was supposed to stick here. So let's just put one more, and that's about it. You'll see exactly why we did this one. And usually I would use, actually, I think we can still use the checker that select. It's just going to, um, let me select, checker deselect, and it should be the other ones. Perfect. No, wait, no, my bad. No. So, yeah, you can choose the number of what to get out, what not to get out. So what we do want is not what it gives us, because we want to keep both this and this one. And I think the reason it's not doing it is because of the number of loop cuts. So what that means is, you know what? We're going to take that one out and, um, try to just GG a little bit more and something like this. You know what? It's pretty good. And again, select the faces the way from here till here, and then checker deselect. And we don't want this, we want the other offset. So this is perfect. X, the lady's faces, and here we are. This is actually perfection for what we want. So one, going to vertex select, X-ray mode, and what we do want is to select only the middle one here, and you'll see exactly why. So activate a proportional editing, and I would say sharp is probably the one, either sharp, either root, because we want a little bit of a, as we saw in the references, a little of a sharper edge on the middle part, and afterwards you just get, well, this one doesn't really have it. It does a little, but not too much. But all the others kind of have it, and I think they look really cool. So G and X, and that's actually the exact thing we want. But what we do see is that it's going to do it in the middle because of the mirrors, and we don't want that. So what we should do before we get to this part is to apply the mirrors. So let's apply them, and here we are having exactly what we wanted. And now I can do this. So you can have your proportional editing, do what you need it to do. And let's try root as well. Let's see what that gives us, because maybe root does a little bit better job, which I think it actually kind of does. Well, more or less, really, because it kind of depends. So let's actually go on top. And what else? Smooth. Maybe smooth does it. I don't know. Actually, smooth does a really good job about it. How about that? I did not expect it. You know what? I kind of like this. So, having this, we will just G and X it and G and Z a little bit to have that intersect, and then we can just do two things. First, solidify modifier, of course, and we do it on one. Apply the scale just in case, and yeah, then you can just play with it. Let's make it 0.005 meters, which is what is it, 5 centimeters? Perfect. So, um, actually, I think this is a little too much now that I see it. Um, so yeah, you can just play around with your geometry. For example, for me, really, it's this seems a little too aggressive, too much. And I don't really want it this way. But we'll go with sharp. I think sharp has the edge a little better, and then if we go smoothing it out, uh, yeah, kind of like that. Because I want it to be edge-like, but at the same time I want it to have a little bit of a, normality to it, because I think this is a little bit exaggerated as well, but I kind of like this kind of exaggeration to it. What do you think? Actually, yeah, leave it in the comments. What's your opinion on this one? So because we did this, I'm going to deactivate the proportional editing, activate X-ray when you select, and then G and Z. And something about there should probably be more than okay. Hmm? Yeah, maybe. But because we did this, what we should really do is kind of try to match this as well. And that is not gonna be lovely, let me tell you that. So let's actually hide everything around here. And I think I hit a little too, no, that was good. Good, and as I said, I'm going to actually hide everything here as well, because we don't need those. And we're going to try to match these, more or less, because again, it's not gonna work properly, probably just as good, but we can always give it a try, and I think it did a much better job than I expected it to, really. Uh, we're going to smooth these out just a little tiny bit manually, because I think that's important as well. And Alt H, and let's see how it looks. Oh, this is not good. We went into the geometry, so you know, not a good thing. As I said, that was a little too exaggerated right here, and we should not have done it. But it's okay, we don't need to necessarily match it completely. We will still match it, but not completely. So, being in the X-ray modifier, we're going to do something like this. Right, and selecting everything, kind of, I think we're still entering the geometry, which is so annoying. So, let's keep it like this then. Okay, G and X, and something about there. And we will just, in this case, this is gonna be a little hard to spot. Just come way less in the front there. And Alt H. And how about that? No more problems there, but apparently there are gonna be a lot of more problems here. And I start to don't like this idea at all. Because it's just creating more problems than it actually solves. I don't think it makes the train look necessarily better either. Mm. I like the idea of the grid being like this, but at the same time I don't like the idea of it being destruction of our work so far. So actually we will play around with it some more. And oh, yeah, right. The proportional editing was not on. So, okay. These are a little too back. Too in the back, right? So SX maybe is going to help us out. Something like about there. And it's matching now. More or less. Well, SX. No. In edit mode, SX. Because we are still like this. Right. SX a little more and GNX. Push it back, and this actually doesn't look bad at all. And because of this, we can now go subdivision surface and also control scale, because we did play with its scale. So adaptive and 2, and I know I said I'm not going to do this, but again, um, I wanted to just make it happen. And then you can just do this, right? You can just play around, put this or not if you don't want to. I think it looks good without that anyway. And you also can play with the thickness however you feel like it's going to improve your your render and the look of your train. Right, so this is the first way to do it. And from here on is mostly how you just want to make it look, and that's really cool. So this time we chose a cube, and we're going to scale it on the Y. It's going to be basically the same process as before, but with 2 or 3 little changes. So first one is the cube, and there's a reason. The reason I chose a plane last time, it's mostly because of the so let me auto mirror on Y. Um, it was because of the checkered deselect part where you have to delete faces. It's much easier if you just have a plane, and I thought it's better to just use the solidify modifier afterwards and be done with it. But in this case, uh, we cannot really do that. So what shall we do is a little bit different. First, we can again, this part is going to really be a lot of what you are going to choose to do with it. But we could put some loops in here and select this part, and then GX, and just go nuts with it, right? And then also here, select the middle one, actually the down one, sorry, and then GX, and something like this. I like how it looks. Right, so shade it smooth, and let's have a Shift S and cursor to select it right here. Control 3, and what we're going to do is put another cube in and really scale it down. And then SY, something like that. That's good. And then SZ kind of about here. And what we will want is SX, GX, just make sure it's intersecting all of it. And I guess a lot of you already realize what I'm going to do, but I'm going to just explain it anyway. So what I'm going to do is use the auto boolean, but I'm not going to use the auto boolean because I want you to see the modifiers, or the modifier, which is it's the way I use it all the time. I always forget about the bool tool here. Again, if you don't do only hard surfaces, or though mostly hard surface, is going to be hard. Save, please don't forget to save. And here's the boolean modifier, right? And so you have the intersect, union, and difference, the one that you have here as well. In the bool tool, you also have the slice option, which I actually never used, or actually I think I used it once, but it did not work as I intended, so I ended up not using it. So what we will do, right, is take this object. So again, the modifier, oh wait, I applied the modifier on the wrong object, sorry. That's what I wanted to explain. You have to apply the modifier to the right object. So you'll take the bool and have it right here. Perfect. So having this, take the pipette or I don't know, the eyedropper, whatever it is, and select the object you want. You can also just press here and choose the object, but since we didn't name them yet, just pick the second cube here, and let's apply all transforms just in case I forgot. And nothing seems to have happened, but if we hide this, there's a hole in there, and well, that's basically what we want. And the cool thing about it, so let's bring this back, is that if we're going to play around with the geometry of this guy right here, so let's, for example, subdivision surface it, adaptive, and then we're just going to play around with it, right? We're going to make it more round, more beautiful, and then shade out to smooth it, and then maybe, no, wait, I did this. Maybe do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and make it level 2. And this hole looks also a little better, but also we can improve this by adding another subdivision surface, and it actually destroys everything. And why is that? Well, because it's doing the Boolean before, and actually if you do the subdivision surface before that, it's going to make it pretty okay. It's not perfect, but it's going to be alright. So let's make it level 2 as well, and it actually looks pretty good. The reason it doesn't is really because it doesn't have the support edges where it needs them. But with that, as you saw, it's pretty easy to do. And yeah, so the reason that destroyed basically everything there, right, is because the way the Boolean works, it's taking one object's geometry and try to subtract it from the other object's geometry, right? And because of that, because the other thing had a subdivision surface, it had basically a lot of geometry to subtract from the other one. So when we subdivision surface this thing, this object, after the Boolean, it basically kept in mind that computation, that geometry that sticks there, because I'm trying to explain this as good as I can without having a visual representation, right? But what happens, when you have a subdivision surface, right? What happens is this is going to have not just 4 points, but way more, because it's doubling it once and then it's doubling it again, and it's just going to double each edge that you'll create, which this one will have a lot of them now, right? So let's say it has a lot of points around here now, a lot of vertices. Those vertices are going to stick when you are going to delete this part. It's like cutting in with your knife tool. The vertices here that will create your edge will stay, because something has to create. I don't know how to destroy the annotations. Well, Control Z seems to work. Um, so something has to create this geometry inside, and that has something in there, right? And don't do what I'm about to do absolutely at all. So let's apply everything, and this is basically what you get, right? And this geometry right here is created by none other than this second cube, because if we apply this guy's geometry as well, this is basically what you get. From a simple cube, you got this, right? Let's go back because we don't want this applied by any means. Okay. Uh, so that's how the Boolean works. That's how the subdivision in combination with the Boolean works as well. So it's better to subdivide before you extract the geometry, because if you will first subtract and then subdivide, remember, the subdivision will take in consideration the geometry you already have and try to round it up. So that's why when this will happen, it's trying to take in consideration all these vertices here that are not connected to anything. And because of that, it's going to create a lot of shading issues and actually even deformations. Good. So knowing that, right? We have the second cube right here. And what we will want to do is apply an array modifier. And the x will be on 0 for now. The y, we will increase it to 1, maybe 1.2, and we well, minus minus 1.2, and you can just decrease it in this case, however it fits your train. I'm going to do something like this. Actually, yeah, -2 will be basically, so it will be the exact difference that one of these has. So -2 will work, and let's do, I don't know. By the way, you will see a little lag when you do this. Actually, let's increase this a little bit. And the reason it does this, I hope this doesn't crash on me, it's because it's still doing the Boolean while you do all this, and it has a lot of geometry as well. So let's disable the Boolean for now and just play with our geometry, which it's still very dense, so it's still going to, not be the nicest nicest thing to work with. And let's go on top. And what we will want is to also change the x, and we do it on the plus side. So something like this. So 0.04 should work. And that's how the array can also be used. This is at least how I use it, and I think it's pretty good. So let's. Oh, so I should have deselected this, and I think now it would have moved much better. Let me check. Yeah, it moves perfectly. I did not deselect the viewport. I deselected the render, which would have been a mistake. So yeah, deselect the viewport if you want it to move faster, and after you're sure that this is what you want, enable the viewport, hide the cubes, and there we are. That's what you get for listening to me. Um, so also, what else you could do is, wait, wait a second there. All right. I think we need to mirror. So I think I need to duplicate this. Come on. It just doesn't want to work the way I ask it. And oh no 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 no, hell no. It stuck for a second there and it didn't know what to do. So uh, okay, no modifier for you then. And why is, did I change this? I think I changed it by mistake. So this disable that. Oh yeah, it's 0. What did I write? I wrote 0.04 was the magic number for me. It could depend for you. So let's activate a Boolean. And what we could do is to, again, disable the Boolean for this one because it's going to slow down very much your machine, and apply a mirror modifier to the y-axis, and it's going to do this, which is perfect for us. You can hide that. And actually, let's call it um, frontal protection cut. Okay, which will make this the frontal protection. Perfect. Also, one thing you can do is take these and go to the object data, right? Well, it's not the data, this is the data, but this is the object icon. And here we have a lot of points, really. What we need to use on this case is the viewport display, because it basically, well, it does what it says. It's showing what we see in the viewport, and display as is what we're interested in, because we can just tell it, hey, just display this as wires, and you'll get wires, or display it as a solid, and that's what you get. Even when you get in materials, this will stay a solid. This will not change from this, despite your textures. And texture is what we have. So if you have textures on it, it's going to work. If not, not. What we want is bounds. And it looks weird, but it is because it takes like the whole geometry in consideration. With the whole array, it's not going to show, you know, a bound for each of those. And this is good if this is just used for cutting stuff, because it's easier for us to see, and we can like keep it in there, and also have this, which hopefully is going to is not working. Why is it not working? And no, it's not because of the bound. I think it's not because of this. It would be very, very crazy if it would, because that wouldn't make any sense. So no, of course not. So no, something happened with the frontal protection. I'm not sure what. Uh, what? Is it a mirror modifier? Is this not liking it? Is it because I'm doing the subdivision before? So I think that's what it is. It's not liking the subdivision at all. Let me actually, yeah, now I have to see them. How about that? Um, oh wait, I think I understand what's going on. Or not. Is it because, so wait, GY, no. So if we disable this, I think it brings something right here in the middle as well. So what that means is we will not want to have this in the middle, right? We will want it to be GY, like kind of about here, which means the array needs to be modified now. Kind of about there. So minus 2.03 for me. And you know, do what fits yours. Yeah, that was the problem. So that was what was going on there. It saw it very bad, but it still has let's move to exact, and exact breaks it. Exact just doesn't do whatever. Um, I'm trying to think why this could be. I'm not having a face here again, am I? No, I'm not. So, what if I apply this? No change, of course. So why would you create it there? It's just so dumb. Because it will follow that. almost no matter. It seems like here it doesn't. No, still doing it. Yeah, I'll be honest, that thing's kind of bit me. I'm not sure why it's doing this. So I said there's another way we can do it anyway, and that would be to just, you know, duplicate this. We're basically, well, mirroring it without mirroring it, which is so dumb. But let's put minus here, and well, gx kind of about here. I mean, it doesn't matter, it's connecting anyway. But, you know, and we will need another boolean, which is going to actually use this one this time. And so now it works, and it works perfectly fine. But again, why shall we do all this? It's dumb. We shouldn't. We also could have used a solidify modifier on a plane for this one. So anyway, we do get our end result, which is a thing we're really uh, you know happy about. But yeah, that was a very annoying thing. And the mirror modifier does that from time to time with Boolean. I don't know why, but they don't really like each other too much. At least I got this problem. If anyone knows a solution for that, I'm really happy to hear your thoughts on that. So make sure to write it in the comment if you know it. So selecting these two, again, we can now keep them like this so we can see them, and making sure that the last selected thing is the frontal protection, Control P, and we will object keep transform to have them parented. And the reason for it is now that when we will have this, if we scale it, those will scale with it. And that's a good thing for us because that means we can thin this thing a little bit more. And it doesn't really look too good. So I think we should actually rather do it from the one part we don't really want to do it. But unfortunately, you know, I hurried, and you know what happens when you hurry? Well, you get a lot of work to do. Really, that's the moral of the story, okay? Make sure you do everything properly, not like I did. Which you probably will do like I did because I did not do it properly. So basically what we should have done, well, I did say it's gonna be just a blockout, and I kept going and going until we got to almost doing the whole frontal protection, which it's actually a really good result at the end of the day. So I'm happy with that. But you know, we should have make sure that the cube was exactly the length we wanted it to be, which we did not make sure of. I did not make sure of anyway. So sorry for that. Um, and yeah, at least we know how to solve this. So that's a really good thing. So let's just make this way thinner, kind of like this. I think it should do now. Yeah, this is much better. So yeah, now we have this, and again we can play with you know, the geometry of those and have this frontal part have whatever shapes we want in their cut, and we can also put them at different angles so that it looks more like the references we had, and that we can actually do. Again, I did say we will do the details a little later on, and now we can just move this, and as you can see, it moves with everything at once, which is actually a pretty neat thing. And we can put it kind of about here, which is pretty nice. And we can, I think I also realized exactly what I was doing wrong here. And let's select everything here. Don't delete them and just hide them. That's the one. What we do want to do is go into proportionality, inverse square root, select the middle one, and then GNX kind of about there. Should do Alt H And now let's turn off the proportionality and go kind of about it like that. We won't have it perfectly, but we don't need it to be perfect. Now it's kind of like that's round and that thing is round as well, and it works. It just works. If you don't know Todd Howard, I just quoted him. So yeah, there it is. It took a long time to get here, but there it is, and I'm going to end this right here because it's very late and I'm really tired, and we will continue from here. Because I actually do think this is getting really good, and I'm a little jealous I didn't do it like this the first time. We will do some more details on this part in the next videos, and basically create way more detail and fancier train. So yeah. Alright guys, this is it for this videos. Um, so I think we kind of went through a lot. As modeling goes, yes, we're we did not develop too much, like we did not move so much forward. But again, this is because I'm trying to move a little slower and explain a lot of things that I hope you will understand. And also, get over some of the problems that, as you saw in this video, we got into. And yeah, so unfortunately, but also kind of fortunately, you will most probably get into such problems along your 3D journey, because this is really what happens. It doesn't really matter which industry you will choose to move forward in, like if it's game development or film industry or animation or whatever. Really, you will be facing some problems, and I don't think it's important to know the solution by heart. I think it's important to kind of know at least where to look or how to find a solution. It doesn't really matter, I think, what solution it is. For example, we use the duplicate, which you can say, well, it's not the most elegant solution, but it is a very useful solution. As we saw, it's been really productive. It did exactly what a mirror modifier was supposed to do, um, without the errors, of course. And yeah, I don't know if you really hear my laptop right now is screaming to its death, I think, because while I'm recording this, it's rendering an animation that I'm gonna make a tutorial about, but it's also going to probably be present in this video, hopefully. Um, if not, well, forget about it. It's gonna be in the next one for sure, though. So, that being said, I am again talking way too much. So, um, thank you so much for being here till the end of this video. And actually, if you also stuck to this point where I talked so much gibberish, thank you so much. You're a real one. And if you also got here and you're not subscribed and you did not leave a like and you did not leave a comment, what are you really doing? You watch all this time, you can just, leave the like, give me a subscribe to the channel, help us, move forward and, get bigger and really just improve and increase this community. Um, and yeah, that's kind of it for this. And so see you tomorrow with a new video, with a new part, and with new challenges that we will overcome for sure. So thank you. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And actually, no, have a great day and a great weekend. And see you again in the next part. Bye, guys.